Helen and Natalie had been inseparable since childhood, sharing countless memories beginning with their days in kindergarten. As they grew, their interests aligned perfectly. Dolls, books, plasticine crafts, toys, and active games filled their time together. So when it came time to choose a career, it was no surprise that Natalie pursued her dream of becoming a kindergarten teacher. Natalie thrived in the presence of children, finding joy in their laughter and innocence. She envisioned a future where she had 2 rosy-cheeked kids of her own. Whenever she spotted a mother with her child on the street, a warm smile spread across her face, radiating genuine happiness. "Children are angels," she would often say. "Their emotions are so pure. How could anyone not love them? I believe every woman is meant to be a mother. I grew up alone, without siblings, and it's precisely why I long for the company of children." However, Helen couldn't fathom her friend's choice. "Why would you want that?" she questioned. "You'll work from morning till night, dedicating yourself to others instead of focusing on your own life. We should be getting married and building our own families, not pouring our energy into someone else's kids." "That's your perspective, Helen," Natalie replied. "You have every right to pursue the path you prefer. I'm not chasing a high-flying career or seeking wealth. I just want to find peace with who I am." "But you do want to meet your Prince Charming, right?" Helen pressed. "Yes, I want a meaningful relationship," Natalie acknowledged. "But it has to be with someone with whom I feel a real connection, complete mutual understanding." "I have no doubt you'll find someone quickly," Helen replied, a teasing lilt in her voice. "Just don't get too tired of waiting while you're off managing other people's children." Helen opted for management courses, drawn to the allure of a prosperous career. Children held no appeal for her. She envisioned climbing the corporate ladder, achieving success, and securing a comfortable income. To be honest, she thought Natalie was peculiar and overly driven, lacking ambition and foresight. Helen couldn't understand why her friend was content to work in a low-paying job instead of striving for something greater. "Fool," she often thought to herself about Natalie. "She has no idea that youth slips away quickly, and soon she'll be left calculating the consequences of her choices." Pragmatism was Helen's hallmark. Even at 18, she had a clear vision for her future. Education followed by career, leading to a successful marriage. She believed that youth should be spent achieving, building a foundation, overcoming challenges, and savoring victories. Wasting her prime years on a low-paying job or a lackluster partner seemed like a grave error. Consequently, she swiftly dismissed any romantic advances from those she deemed unsuitable, especially if their wallets were thin. Imagine Helen's surprise when Natalie began dating a dashing young man named John. By the time he entered the scene, Natalie was already working as a junior educator. John seemed to emerge from nowhere, a handsome, charming man with an air of sophistication. He captivated Natalie with discussions about self-development and defying societal norms, sharing ambitious plans that he was eager to realize. To Helen's astonishment, John was drawn to Natalie's quiet demeanor. It was as if she effortlessly captured his attention, simply by being herself. Before long, they were dating and making plans for their future. Helen couldn't help but admire John in secret. He struck her as intelligent, charismatic, and, most importantly, someone with a promising future. It baffled her that someone like him would pay attention to Natalie, who seemed blissfully unaware of the charm she possessed. Why did it feel unfair? Why were the toothless gifted with the choicest nuts? Suppressing her disappointment was a challenge. She felt an urge to voice her frustrations, but held back, perhaps out of respect for their friendship. Natalie remained warm and welcoming, sharing her dreams and future plans, steadfast in her belief in the goodness of people. Then, just 6 months later, the wedding unfolded. John and Natalie seemed like a picture-perfect couple, but Helen harbored doubts about their compatibility. She wrestled internally with her indignation, convinced that she would have made a better life partner for a man like John. Retreat was not an option for her. She refused to let go of that thought. 3 years went by, and Natalie and John welcomed 2 beautiful boys into their family. Natalie devoted herself to caring for the household and raising the children, stepping back from her cherished job at the kindergarten to focus on these new responsibilities. Meanwhile, John's career flourished, and he quickly ascended the corporate ladder. From the outside, their life seemed idyllic. Yet Helen grappled with an overwhelming sense of loss, unable to accept that her vision of happiness had slipped away. John lingered in her thoughts and dreams, a man of such undeniable worth and bright prospects. The notion that he had chosen Natalie over her was unbearable. To Helen, Natalie was less intelligent, less beautiful, and less capable of seeing the bigger picture. Desperation crept in, and Helen resolved to test her chances with John. She began to appear in his life more frequently, dropping by when she knew Natalie would be out. They quickly found common ground in conversation, sharing thoughts on careers, aspirations, and exchanging mutual compliments. John revealed himself to be the perfect gentleman, always holding doors open for her and suggesting they share a meal together. Before long, their relationship crossed the line from friendship to something more intimate, culminating in a night together while Natalie visited her sick mother in the village. The weight of what had happened hit Helen like a freight train. Anxiety coursed through her as she contemplated the situation. How would everything unfold? How would Natalie react if she found out? "Don't tell her anything," John said firmly. "Let's just keep this to ourselves. It'll be better for everyone involved." "But I want to be with you. I love you," Helen blurted out, caught off guard by her own intensity. "What does this mean for us? Are we just going to pretend that one night doesn't matter? That it was just a mistake?" "We can continue seeing each other," John replied calmly. "But you have to understand, I won't leave my wife." He was clear. He had no objection to their secret meetings, but Helen struggled with the notion of being the second choice in John's life. Discontent brewed within her, leading to frequent arguments where she demanded clarity about their relationship. Inevitably, the truth came to light for Natalie. The disappointment she felt was so profound that she could scarcely find words. Wordlessly, she packed up her belongings, took the boys in her arms, and left for her mother's house in the village. She needed space to process everything and to escape the betrayals of those she once held dear. "I don't want to see either of you again," she told Helen during their farewell. "If you want to be together, I won't stand in your way." Initially, Helen was devastated after Natalie left, but soon she found herself celebrating. She had finally achieved her goal. Now she and John could start dating, and perhaps even look towards marriage. However, John underwent a troubling transformation. He began drinking more frequently and became increasingly elusive. He wasn't as attentive as before, often responding rudely and avoiding meaningful conversations. Then came a shocking incident that shattered Helen's expectations entirely. Returning home one evening, she was struck by an alarming sight. The brand new television was gone, and a significant amount of money had disappeared. To her dismay, her laptop, expensive coffee maker, and fur coat were also missing. Frustration surged within her as she yearned for an explanation from John, but he had vanished without a trace. Despair settled in as she wept silently, grappling with her heartbreak and feelings of betrayal. A few days later, feeling a mixture of remorse and curiosity, she reached out to Natalie, hoping to mend their friendship and uncover the truth. What she learned was shocking. "Helen, I have no hard feelings toward you," Natalie said gently, "but I can't stay with him anymore. I'm filing for divorce." "Why did he do this? He essentially robbed me," Helen exclaimed, incredulous. "John has serious debts," Natalie replied. "I've realized he lacks a sense of morality. It's obvious he took advantage of you. Those accomplishments you admired, they're just a facade. I tolerated his behavior for too long, but I won't anymore. He cheated on me before, and I was in denial. The sudden revelation forced Helen to reevaluate her feelings toward both her former friend and her circumstances. She came to understand that some mistakes can have devastating and irreparable consequences.